everything about this industry is long and slow and requires a lot of willingness to fail and fail forward. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, I remember that too. Cause like I was literally, so that was when I was like going to community college. I really wanted to do illustrating, and I had such a great teacher, and he was just like, "So what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Book covers for sure, and like graphic novels." Because of the whole Borders collapse, and Barnes and Noble was in a weird spot too. I don't think people remember that, right? Like it was
yes, they
just
will.
like, yeah. So like he was like, dude, I think you should find something to make this secondary in some way. So I'm actually pretty grateful for him because then I found teaching, and then he actually kind of taught me that he thought maybe like writing was better for me like personally, so I actually like changed gears completely and been writing ever since. Like so, but it was like such a weird, like you said, like, it was a weird time. So yeah, we
Well, it's one
talk
of
about
those
that
things where,
a
like,
lot.
these days you'll see on social media or something people talking about, oh, it's the collapse of publishing. It's the end of the written word. And I'm like, nah. Publishing's been collapsing since the 1800s. It's not going away. Patience, patience.
Well, people like, I don't think they realize, like teaching history, I don't think people realize like it's always, everything's in flux, right? You're like each like point of history, you're at like a 60-year like thing is what they're saying now of this like current research. And when I'm looking at enduring issues, particularly writing like historical fiction, or I like to call it historical urban fantasy, it is interesting, to have some older characters and then they're actually dealing with the same thing again. Because I always think like, what would happen if your great grandparents were still alive? They'd be like, oh, we're just seeing the same cycle over and over again. And I always think it's interesting to kind of put those kind of things into book form, but I don't think people realize like actually how much things fluctuate. Like I have people ask me all the time, and students, they're like freaking out about stuff, and I'm like, I know it seems like the end of the world, and I probably do too much like Tolkien quoting, with Frodo and Sam or Gandalf a little bit, but it's like everything's in flux. So yeah, every time someone says that about
There's
publishing,
never too much Tolkien quoting. Whatever,
that's
how
fair.
much you're quoting,
That's
there's
fair.
still more that could be applied.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my friend, we talked about it recently. He goes, Stephen Colbert looks like he might be free soon. He's like, you should try, because I had some friends that almost got him on their podcast for like a Tolkien talk. Yeah, and then he had like something, their schedule's always crazy. So he had somebody pop in last minute for like a talk or something like that. So it was funny, like we were talking about it again, and I was like making some. I love the Tolkien memes. Like I do too many of those in Star Wars, particularly on TikTok. And they're like, you should try and get Stephen Colbert to come and chat soon. They're like, you might hit him at a good time. I was like, I don't know,
You
but
never
I
know.
think that yeah, it would be really fun. But yeah, not enough Tolkien on here. So you guys heard it from Tim. We're gonna keep going with it. But I think that that's really interesting. And yeah, stubbornness I think is the greatest skill. Every time I hear somebody, where they talk at any point, not even in books, right? But just that fact of being stubborn, and I think, like stubborn in a good ways, right? Like you said, like just keep doing this. But I think sometimes people, when they do it, and it's a negative, I have seen them, where they don't want to change, right? But I think if you do fluctuate with the market, in some way, shape, or form, I definitely think, yeah, like the right type of stubbornness maybe is like kind of, what people might want to think about, right? Rather than just pure, pure
Pure
stubbornness.
bullheaded nothingness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah,